The head of a San Francisco Bay Area commuter train system has issued an apology to 31-year-old Steve Foster, an African-American transit rider who was detained and cited by police for eating a breakfast sandwich on a train platform after an outcry from people who say the enforcement of a no food rule is racist. More than 24 people staged an eat-in at a Bay Area rapid transit station. This was over the weekend, and others continued to protest the November 4th encounter, which ended with Foster, who was headed to work in handcuffs and unable to leave until he had provided his name to the BART police. Eating is not allowed in paid portions of the station to maintain cleanliness, according to BART representatives. Here to give us more insight on this story is Onyx News correspondent Reynolds McZorn. McZorn, this video has gone viral. Some of the comments have stated that the police reaction was ridiculous and racist. Give us some insight on this story.
Well, Nietzsche, this transit system carries about 400,000 people daily. And in a recent interview, Steve Foster stated that not only does he take this train, but he eats there daily. So he definitely felt singled out, and that was his own statement in the video. He said that the officer, who was identified as McCormick, that was the tag that was on the officer's uniform, walked up to him twice. Apparently the officer was there for another reason. He was there to identify a suspect who was intoxicated. And that's coming from the BART general manager, Bob Powers.
You know, he was fined, and the fine is calling for him to pay $250 or do 48 hours of community service. This is quite interesting. The level, what we've seen in other comments is that people feel that the level of attack on this scenario of someone eating a sandwich in the transit station compared to much larger issues is a problem. What do you say to that?
Well, I agree with that, and I agree with the protest that took place. Kelly Groff was the organizer of the protest that took place, and she said in the statement that people should have the right to eat. This is ridiculous. Again, the officer was there for another reason. He was there to identify someone who was intoxicated. And Foster said in the interview, he said he felt singled out. He said, in fact, the officer walked past people who were drinking coffee and eating bagels. So this is a very interesting development that's taking place.
This particular station, for those of you who may not know, was made famous in the movie Fruitvale Station, which was a 2013 film about the fatal shooting of Oscar Grant, a 22-year-old African-American man, by BART police on New Year's Day in 2009. This is quite an interesting story, very, very interesting story. A fine attached to it and community service, and also additional protests that are going to be happening. We will look forward to sharing more information on this story with you soon. As always, Reynolds McZorn, thank you for awesome reporting.